Hey guys, so today I kind of wanted to share something with, especially with the COVID-19 situation. Several of you are feeling discouraged. Some of you feel just locked up and, for like maybe a whole week, maybe some of you for a little longer than that. And you're concerned about what's going to happen in the future. Some of you are concerned about your personal, maybe job, economy, what's going to happen to your family, how is everything going to boil down at the end. I know there's a lot of confusion, and so today being a day of rest, I thought, let me just share a little bit, an opportunity for us to worship together. And so my intent is to make it 10 minutes, not much longer, but what I encourage you to do is let's come humbly before God and just quiet our hearts, and then let's worship God together through the reading of the word together. Today, I just want to look at Exodus 15 and 16, fairly long chapters. And so we're only going to read parts of it, but I encourage you to read through the things that happened around 15 and 16, because I think it's very similar to what we are experiencing today. The people of Israel, they just got out of slavery. They've been living in certain kind of environments, certain kind of setting for a very long time. This is all they're used to. They're used to, if you put it into our sense, we've been working like a certain way, and we've been going to work in the morning, and then we've been coming home at night. Now, the people of Israel, they now just got out of Egypt. They're running into this what seems like a dead end, this water, and there's no place to cross. There's enemies coming with chariots or with weapons. Well, they don't have any. Israel people, they have nothing. We have nothing. And there's this battle that's coming around us, right? And then God opened up the sea so that the people of Israel can pass. We were able to get through safety, while the people, the pursuers, the attackers with weapons and the things of this world, they got swallowed up. And of course, that's only the beginning of what we're going to read. All right, let's take a look at Exodus 15 and 16. What happens after that the people have been left out of what they're comfortable with, and they've been out of this danger, what would happen? So here comes the reading from book of Exodus, chapter 15 and 16. So we're going to read 15, 22 through 27, then 16, 1 through 4, and then 23 through 29. The message goes something like this. Then Moses led the people of Israel away from the Red Sea, and they moved out into the desert of Shur. They traveled in this desert for 3 days without finding any water. When they came to the oasis of Marah, the water was too bitter to drink, so they called the place Marah, which means bitter. Then the people complained and turned against Moses. "What are we going to drink?" they demanded. So Moses cried out to the Lord for help, and the Lord showed him a piece of wood. Moses threw it in the water, and this made the water good to drink. It was there at Marah that the Lord set before them the following decree as a standard to test their faithfulness to him. He said, "If you will listen carefully to the voice of the Lord your God and do what is right in his sight, obeying his commands and keeping all his decrees, then I will make you suffer any of the diseases. I will not make you suffer any of the diseases I sent on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you." After leaving Marah, the Israelites traveled on the oasis of Elim, where they found 12 springs and 70 palm trees. They camped there beside the water. Then comes chapter 16. Then the whole community of Israel set out from Elim and journeyed into the wilderness of Sin between Elim and Mount Sinai. They arrived there on the 15th day of the second month, 1 month after leaving the land of Egypt. There too, the whole community of Israel complained about Moses and Aaron. "If only the Lord had killed us back in Egypt," they moaned. "There we sat around pots filled with meat and ate all the bread we wanted. But now you have brought us into the wilderness to starve us all to death." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Look, I'm going to rain down food from heaven for you. Each day the people can go out and pick up as much food as they need for the day. I will test them in this to see whether or not they will follow my instructions." And let's go down to verse 23. He told them, "This is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow will be a day of complete rest, a holy Sabbath day set apart for the Lord. So bake or boil as much as you want today, and set aside what is left for tomorrow. So they put aside until morning, just as Moses had commanded. And in the morning, the leftover food was wholesome and good, without maggots and odor. Moses said, "Eat this food today, for today is a Sabbath day dedicated to the Lord. There will be no food on the ground today. You may gather for food for 6 days, but the seventh day is the Sabbath. There will be no food on the ground that day. Some of the people went out anyway on the seventh day, but they found no food." The Lord asked Moses, "How long will these people refuse to obey my commands and instructions? They must realize that the Sabbath is the Lord's gift to you. That is why he gives you a 2-day supply on the 6th day. So there will be enough for 2 days. On the Sabbath day, you must each stay in your place. Do not go out to pick up food on the 7th day." So here in this passage, there's several things, all right? I just want to point to 3 key things that I think is very important to us. First is that God provides. So you don't need to worry about any of your provisions. So look at verse 24 in chapter 15. It goes, the people complained and turned against Moses. "What are we going to drink?" they demanded. "When we cry out to the Lord," verse 25, so Moses cried out to the Lord for help. And then what happened? The Lord showed him a piece of wood. Moses threw it in the water. This made the water good to drink. And then verse 26, it says, "For I am the Lord who heals you." There's nothing that God cannot do, and we lack nothing because God provides for all of our needs. And so despite the things about the coronavirus, about the things that's happening out there, don't worry about it. God's got it. You might feel like, "Oh, what if I don't have enough? What if this goes on for years and I don't have enough food for the year? Oh no, I didn't store enough for the year." Don't worry about it. God's got it. So don't worry about it. God's got it. Second is, as believers, I think we need to be more attentive to the Lord than ever. So I was thinking about this in verse in chapter 16, let's look at verse 2. And there too, the whole community of Israel complained about Moses and Aaron. It's what is wrong with this picture? God called all of the people of Israel to be the people of faith, right? All the people of Israel, they're all supposed to be Christians, right? But here they are complaining to the 2 people where they should be the ones standing up and asking the Lord for help. But now they're saying, "Moses and Aaron, you are the one that God called, so you do something about this situation. How about we turn this around and say, you Christians should do something about this situation." All we have to do is pray and rely on God, right? So my second point is, I think as believers, this is a time where we need to be more attentive than ever. Instead of focusing on the situation that's out there where we feel like we don't know what's going to happen, rather, let's look to God and say, "Lord, is there anything you want us to do right now? Is there anything you want us to act on? Is there any person that you want us to speak to? God, I want to be part of your great revival. If you want to lead us to do something, I want to be there." That should be our mindset. Because the people of Israel, they complained, "If only the Lord had killed us back in Egypt. I wish I was just back at work and things were just the same as it has been." But I think God is doing something so much bigger, probably on a global scale, that we don't want to miss what God is doing. And this is a good thing for all of us, for us to turn to God and trust him in these circumstances. All right, thirdly, I want us to go back to trusting in God. So here, reading the latter part of chapter 16, it talks about the Sabbath, about God provided for the 7 days, but he provided actually for 6 days. And then on the 7th day, you're supposed to go on with whatever you saved up on the 6th day. Normally, the food would rot if you took it on the 5th day for multiple days. But on the 6th day, the 7th day food was always good. So it's just like that. If you trust God with everything that is important to you, maybe your job, or maybe your source of income, okay, or health, or whatever it is, your children, all the things that are important to you, trust God with it. He's the creator of all things, and he's got it. You don't need to worry about it. All you have to do is trust him and lay them down before him. And that's all the message that I wanted to share with you today. I encourage you to read Exodus 15 and 16 again. Many people would complain. Many people would be scared. Many people would be worried. Where are we going to get the water to drink? What about all the food? Where's the food coming from? You know, we can't think like this, but rather know that God has everything under control. He's the provider, and we should listen to him as he's doing some mighty things in the midst today. So don't worry about the things that are happening around us, but trust him. Lay down all your worries before him and he will give you rest. He said in Matthew, come all who bear heavy burdens, because I will give you rest. And so that is how us as believers should think. And for those of you that don't know about God, or that are not certain about God, that has not thought about God all this time, I encourage you to put your trust in him. It's he has the best for our lives, all of us, and he wants us to trust him and lean on him, walk with him. And I think that's the message that he's giving to us through this COVID situation. And I encourage you to find strength in him. All right, God bless everyone. Take care.